What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully your Saturday is off to a great start wherever you are out there in this amazing, wonderful world. Wanted to bring you guys some updated news on what's been happening this week. Got some great things happening. I think exciting things. Sometimes crypto, more things seem to be happening than others. Obviously, there's a lot of fear about Ukraine and the impending invasion, so to speak. So markets are fearful of that and really paying attention to what's going to happen with that. But I have some news, some Ripple news, some just general CBDC news, also some XDC, R3 Corda, and some Alliance block updates wanted to share with you. So let's just kind of dig in. Wanted to share a couple of interesting articles here. So you see here, if you are a Ripple fan here, you're following what's happening. You see here the Digital Euro Association, they've just partnered with Ripple. So you see here the DEA is delighted to announce its partnership with Ripple as a supporting partner to jointly work on central bank digital currencies. So they're just helping them solve some of the main issues relating to CBDC, some of the main things we discuss on this channel. They're already working with Palau and Bhutan and others as well, so it's just only a matter of time before this lawsuit, goes away. At some point, we have a resolution, but, you see here the chairman of the Digital Euro Association, they're thrilled due to the partnership with Ripple. We can extend the technological expertise of the DEA community. More and more CBDC projects worldwide reach advanced stages. Something like, so basically, just from what I've gathered, following the space, reading about CBDCs, is there isn't going to just be one DLT or even just DLT technology by itself. It's going to be really a mix of multiple systems. And so having something like a bridge asset like Ripple in the end makes the most sense. It really does, so that different places and countries, and they can all use a different technology, but Ripple will be able to meet that need. And also, I know one of the major needs of a CBDC is some type of system that can work with limited telecom access and grid down scenarios. We know the XRPL, the Ripple ledger, is able to function there with limited capacity. So that'll be good to see them partnering there with that. It's just here another mention of this. Ripple becomes the gold supporting member of the Digital Euro Association. So it'll be good to see what happens. You see here the partnership involves knowledge sharing for European CBDC. Ripple will update the design and enhance the Euro digital currency. So full steam ahead with Ripple and their team. They're just charging forward, in despite of the SEC lawsuit. So continue to push forward. And it's only a matter of time, like I said before, we have that resolution. So good on that. Now, speaking of CBDCs and just crypto in general, I wanted to share this because some of these people in charge of the global central banks. Hungary's central bank chief wants EU-wide crypto trading and mining ban. Governor, I don't even know how to say this guy's name, Governor Georgi Matowski reciprocated the need for a crypto ban currently imposed by China and proposed by Russia's central bank, which we know Russia, they flip-flopped as well. All of these central banksters, all of these globalists, they flip-flop back and forth. And of course, the whole hypocrisy of this whole thing, you see Governor Matowski cited the recent crypto ban imposed by China in a blog post. So he's basically pointing out the Russian central bank's proposal calls for a blanket ban on domestic cryptocurrency trading and mining. We now know that Russia's actually going to allow it. So this guy, I don't know, I feel like he's confused. I perfectly agree with the proposal and also support the senior EU financial regulator's point that the EU should ban the mining method used to produce most new Bitcoin. And so it's kind of unclear whether they're actually just trying to ban the mining or actual just crypto trading in general. The governor strongly believes in cryptocurrency's potential to service illegal activities and tend to build up financial pyramids, as if central bank fiat money is not a type of financial pyramid. It's like, look at this guy, Georgi Matowski. It's like, these entrenched look at this guy, come on. These global entrenched banksters want to try to dictate and tell us how we should or should not change and how we should or should not, use a certain thing for money, and it's like, on an end note, Governor Matulsi calls for an outright blanket ban on cryptocurrencies to counter the investors' risk related to financial pyramids and bubbles. It's just the hypocrisy of all of this. Anyway, it's worth paying attention to. It's worth seeing what's going on, because if these types of folks had their way, they would control everything and we would control nothing. So we want to make sure we stay ahead of the trend and we see what's going on, because that way we can position ourselves ahead of that trend. Now, wanted to move on here. Propy. Now, full disclosure, Propy, I have some Propy. I really like it. Now, being in the real estate and mortgage and, consumer financing space myself, I'm very much, paying attention to real estate and what's happening with real estate and really the intersection of financing, real estate, crypto. It's really fascinating. You see here, in case you missed it, earlier this week, Propy sold their first real estate-backed NFT in the U.S. down in Florida. Property sold for 210 ETH, setting the waves in motion for future real estate-backed NFT transactions. So I wanted to bring this up because actually the owner of the house is I don't have her name here in front of me. It was on another article that I had read about it, but I wanted to share this one. She is apparently the founder of a type of crypto type lending company. So she wanted to do this, kind of promote the space in general, that what can and cannot be happening, or what can and cannot happen with crypto, or what can happen with crypto rather. These blockchain records are becoming legally admissible in court. So that'll be a big thing, is like having the ability of real estate, like, because the real estate transaction in general right now is just such a slow, antiquated process. The title work, the going in and searching the chain of title, it takes a lot of work. So being able to more quickly buy and sell real estate, and this is going to be a really a game changer worth watching. Legally speaking, the NFT serves as the official entity that legally holds the property rights. So, if you're watching this video, chances are you understand what at least NFT and how that would work. Globally scaled real estate network, rather than spend weeks or months negotiating and waiting for a deal to close, which weeks at best. Weeks at best. You buy a house, it's at least 30 days, to go through the chain of title and all of that. So this is going to be, it's definitely going to be revamping rather the whole real estate space. So interesting to pay attention to. Now, moving on, I wanted to share XDC news and some R3 news. Kinesis Money integrates with XDC network and readies cross-chain bridge to develop thriving digital asset ecosystem. So, you know how we feel about cross-chain bridges and their security, but it's at least we're watching the development of the XDC network. Like it or not, XDC is one of those that will be around. They are so positioned to be in this whole asset tokenization space, global trade space, just the development that we're seeing in general with global trade finance, and in particular, like the actual digitization of all the different types of paperwork and trade instruments. This particular partnership, though, I wanted to bring up the Kinesis. You see, what this is basically they're allowing, with Kinesis Money, the global trading utility platform catering to both precious metals and digital assets. So you're going to be able to, you sign up to Kinesis here, and I'll show you. I actually signed up. Now, I don't have any money in it, or I haven't KYC'd or anything, but you see here, it's worth checking out. Their whole their infrastructure here is pretty good. It's or not infrastructure, their user experience. It's very slick and streamlined, and what they do is it's very similar to like maybe an LCX, or maybe not very similar to LCX, but what they do is you're going to be able to take your XDC. XDC is going to be partnered with them, and you see here, basically it's going to extend its blockchain network to include additional blockchain protocols to operate its native KAU and KAG tokens, which are like their digital gold and digital silver. In line with this strategy, Kinesis will first list the XDC and XR20 tokens on the Kinesis exchange, providing XDC holders the ability to trade against precious metal tokens, KA. So this is their Kinesis Gold and Kinesis Silver, which are fully allocated physical gold and silver backed tokens, which hold real world utility for saving or spending as global currency. So sounds really nice. Sounds very streamlined. Now you see here there's 2 separate phases which is going to actually develop in the partnership. The aim they want towards the enablement of minting kinesis as gold and silver-backed digital currency. So what their game plan here is just getting their name out there more and getting they're going to hold gold and silver, and they're going to distribute tokens based and backed by those real-world assets. And it's essentially, we know XDC, they were the first ones to actually even create an NFT of a global trade document. They are heavily involved in the digitization of assets with R3 Corda. We'll get to that here in a second. This is going to allow Zinfinite Kinesis will explore the development of a bridge between the XDC network and the Kinesis contract on the Stellar blockchain to allow seamless interchange of these assets. You know, Stellar, again, that's one of those, and we don't talk about it much on this channel. Perhaps we need to. Stellar is one of those where it will be around in the future. It's already got major partnerships. There are, you know, USDC, it uses Stellar. So it's like they are, what we're seeing is this back-end system of the new infrastructure being built out. The integration comes at a time when many other layer 2 projects are deploying on the XDC chain for its scalable, cost-efficient infrastructure and growing community. The XDC network is recognized as highly accommodating layer 1, and we know all that. Actually wanted to point this out here. Billy Sebel, head of ecosystem development at Zinfin. Hopefully I said his name right. We are thrilled Kinesis has seen XDC network as a valuable integration and welcomed opportunity to bridge the 2 ecosystems. So you'll be able to take your token and trade and buy these digital, you know, you'll be able to buy and trade different gold and silver backed assets and tokens. And you can actually, there's ways you can earn yield. You have, look, 5% mentors yield, hodl and earn 15% holders yield. So again, I signed up for this and I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see kind of how this works. Be rewarded every time you trade silver and gold. Now, I'm more of a fan of actually holding the, you know, the asset yourself. But if it's a way that you can, you know, earn yield, and so if you just hold gold and you're just holding it there, honestly, gold is not really even appreciated or gone up in value for, it's just kind of just sits there, you know. So if you can actually buy a token, right, backed by the gold, you have the stability of the gold, but now you can start earning yield on having that gold. Now, whether or not you can actually, you know, cash it out and take claim of your gold, you know, I don't know yet on this. I just thought it was interesting. They're going to have a debit card as well on this. So it's something that is, again, if nothing else, it shows use case. It shows development. It shows XDC being built out. And they're doing it, and they're partnering with XDC because, again, we know they're ISO 20022 already ahead of that curve. Now, that just simply means that they're compliant with the new financial messaging standards. That's all that is. Now, we know that. It's something that is going to be around in the future, so it's worth paying attention to. Now, R3 Corda had this little fact sheet here that they had just released. Now, we know XDC is the first settlement token on R3's Corda blockchain. Now, also, I don't think Corda, or I don't think just XDC will be the only token. This will be a settlement token in this environment, but we know R3 is also working on other tokens. They're working on the Obscuro. We talked about that. But XDC is going after that. And with this partnership with Kinesis, we clearly see they are the prime choice when it comes to asset digitization. Now, this right here, this kind of blurb from R3, this fact sheet white paper, they are essentially just positioning themselves as the leader when it comes to digital asset tokenization, and they're really positioning themselves as being ahead of the regulatory hurdles. Now, you see here in Europe, if you're watching this video in Europe, you see the European Union's markets and crypto assets, the MiCA regulation, and the DLT pilot regime are estimated to come into effect in 2023 and 2024. And then obviously here in the U.S., the Federal Reserve and the Office of Comptroller of Currency and the FDIC they're undergoing a policy sprint on crypto assets to develop a joint framework. We talked about that in yesterday's video. And really, you see 50 to 70% of financial services institutions are currently pursuing digital asset business opportunities, including building a digital asset distributed ledger technology or blockchain team. So they're really building out this infrastructure so that digitization of assets can really revolutionize and become a huge opportunity now. And that is going to be, well, again, XCC tied into that. Now, you have R3 is just a gigantic leader in the space. They're leading everything, and so really paying attention to what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they're integrating all of these services together is going to be what happens in the future. Now, the future of digital finance is built on trust. And ZenFin, with XCC being that chosen settlement token, the Corda will be able to continue to expand and bring everything out. Leading financial institutions can represent a broad range of digital asset types on Corda to dematerialize, fractionalize, and democratize them, right? So with XCC operating on Corda, look, you see that brings in the power of being able to, look, gold and silver right here on the XDC blockchain. So this is just, we're going to continue to see these types of things being built out. We're going to continue to see these payment systems be fleshed out more. Now, wanted to share this as well. LCX, another one of the regulated type exchanges that I believe is going to be around and survive the impending regulation apocalypse. You see, they filed for a $10 million euro blockchain bond this week. Now, what this means is they wanted to raise $10 million, or 10 million euro rather, and they're tokenizing that bond with the Financial Market Authority there in Liechtenstein last week. So they offered it as a security token offering, and when you invest the tokenized bond, they give you the LCX S1 token, and you're going to earn 7% on that, right? So it's just essentially a way for LCX to raise up more capital and raise it in a way that it's just through like a bond. So you're going to be able to get in. You're going to be able to get in on that and have a fixed income corporate bond, essentially. Now, they're one of the first. The reason I bring this up is because we're just now at the beginning, the precipice of seeing where large institutions will be able to completely tokenize their securities, be able to make their own securities. They'll be able to issue their own bonds. So definitely very exciting news here. Blockchain bonds have the capability to revolutionize financial capital markets by developing a decentralized market of unique digital assets. You'll be able to buy and sell bonds of different corporations, separate than what like a share of a stock would be. With the utilization of blockchain for securities, there will be no middleman that are currently present in a bond transaction. This will result in saving transaction and settlement time. Also, there'll be huge transparency in the transactions for the issuer. Now, this is not the first type of bond of this nature to be filed, but it's definitely continuing. The fact that it's even happening here on LCX means that they're developing things out, and things are continuing to, develop in that general direction where we want it. This means that once regulations come, the fact that they're already able to do this in a compliant way, they're already getting the experience and name recognition, I believe it will continue to grow. Now, also, moving on here, one of the last things I wanted to share, there was a chat here with Alliance Block on Chainlink Live. I wanted to bring this up because they talked about some of their new services coming out. They talked about liquidity mining as a service. So I wanted to share this clip here before we wrapped up because they're hitting all of their roadmap goals, the Alliance Block roadmap here. And again, speaking of regulations and DeFi and all that, the Alliance Block is going to be one of the top dogs. Take a listen to this clip.
Can you talk a little bit about that? That's very curious. I know the past couple of months there was this talk about DeFi 2.0 and protocol and liquidity and that sort of thing. Is that related to that? How does this work? Tell us about liquidity mining as a service.
So if we go back a little bit, in 2020, we wanted to create liquidity mining campaigns and staking campaigns for our users, right? Our community. And what we saw in the market, very prone to hacks or not very user-friendly. And we wanted to have something that everyone understands to use and that is really heavily audited so that we can be sure that funds are safe, right? So we decided to create our own. We put a lot of people on it, put a lot of time into it to make sure that we have really amazing environment. We did this for us. When we launched the first campaign, we thought it was really successful. So we launched another one on another DEX Then we launched another on another DEX on another network. And when we saw, including with the single-sided staking campaigns that we released, that it was working really well for us and our community, it also brought us closer to our community. It was not just, the liquidity improvements and the lockups. It was also, the engagement between us and the community that was improving. That we thought, like, if it works so well for us, it can work for other projects.
So basically, liquidity mining as a service, you can take your whatever token, it's going to allow you to more easily plug into the Alliance block ecosystem and earn yield on your project. It's going to allow decentralized projects, new DAOs, organizations that need liquidity, that need, capital. It's going to allow them to access that capital. So it's whereas traditional, if you're doing any kind of yield farming, you need multiple assets to put into a liquidity pool to earn yield on. With Alliance Block, well, they have a way now you can just do it with one single asset to earn yield on that one asset. So there's less risk of impermanent loss and things like that. So worth paying attention to. Again, Alliance Block right now, its price is it's severely retraced from its all-time high, so a lot of room to run. I feel like this is one of those that I'm holding. Get at least, again, not financial advice, but having 10, 20,000 of these is something in the future I feel like would be quite a nice return on, just based on what they're able to do, and also being able to earn passive income on that. So these are some of my plays, is just being able to know that my financial future is set, and just by living off a different passive income. So again, guys, I'll wrap it up at this mark. Hopefully this was entertaining and educational for you guys. Appreciate you coming by here. I've been in a different spot. That's why my camera here is not working, but I'm glad and appreciate the fact that you guys are coming by. Please hit that like button. It really does help everybody. It helps the algorithm push us out and for us to continue to grow. Appreciate you guys stopping by, commenting. Would love to hear from you what your thoughts are. What do you think about XDC? Are you going to get in on this kinesis thing? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. What digital assets, digital gold, digital real estate. Comment below. Would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.